All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the April Fool's edition of Three Wise Men. We have no wise men today, but just two more fools along with me, Siddharth and Arvind. How are you guys doing? How was your week?
Good, good. It was a boring week with the international break. But yeah, looking forward to the weekend with the Premier League football coming up.
Finally,
Yep,
football is upon us. How about you, Arvind? You are looking forward to Chelsea's stroll to the title?
I definitely hope so. But yeah, it's been a long 2 weeks without Premier League, and from here till the end, it's going to be one big dash. Let's hope we wrap up the title soon.
Yeah.
Did
Best
you
of.
did your team have a very hectic 2 weeks?
Okay.
Actually, yes, quite a lot of people were playing international. So yeah, looking forward to a 1 week break after playing Palace this weekend.
All right. Talking about the international break, now all of us have quite a few topics that we'd like to discuss and debate about. Let's start with the newest experiment, so to say, with the video replay technology that the referees used during was it France versus Spain, and we saw two clear instances of video technology influencing goal decision. One was I think Antoine Griezmann's offside, and so disallowing his goal. And the second one was allowing Gerard Delofio's second goal for Spain. Uh, what do you guys think? What are your thoughts on video technology slowly creeping into football as we know it right now?
Yeah, I think it was a very clear case of everyone in football, to start using video technology to clear wrong decisions which were overturned, and uh, I think all the leagues, especially the Premier League, should start from next season. Although the Premier League has said they won't start until 2018 using the video technology. But yeah, I mean, I like it. Makes the game fair. It stops people from complaining, like Chelsea fans. So why not?
All right. Well, I'll stop you right there before we jump into another of Tutu Meme debate. Uh, Well, just my 2 cents. I really like the technology, but I really hope it doesn't become like an NFL game, like too many stops and starts and stops and starts. But the main decisions that definitely will be called out right.
Yeah, I think that was one of the problems. A lot of people, most of the people liked it, but a lot of people were opposed to it because both the breaks that were taken to consult the video referee were about 40 to 50 seconds. So there's two clear minutes that were taken away, and the whole point of football, I mean, the whole point of us liking it is because it's a continuous sport. So there'll be a lot of stoppages, and it'll be interesting to see how many decisions can be referred to the video referee. Like, I think in cricket, like, you have two decisions per inning. So if there's like two per inning, half, it won't prolong the game for too long, but I hope there's a limit to the number of decisions that can be referred, because there's just going to be 11 players crowding on the referee for every small decision.
Yeah, that's true. What are your thoughts, Arvind? I mean, I just want to say what to add to Sid's point is it I don't agree with the two rulings, I mean two reviews per half, only because then it gives the managers the control to appeal a decision. I think it should come from the referee himself. If he's not sure, he goes upstairs, asks the video referee, hey, did I make the right call? So in that way the referee is liable for his actions, right? And then you have the least interruption from the management and the playing staff. That's what I think.
Yeah, it's you make a good point. It's one of those where you don't want, if you ask anyone who were to be critical about the NFL or American football, the first thing they say is how there's a stoppage every 2 minutes in the game, and they look at every inch, and football is known for its continuity. So that will definitely be one thing that's affected. But at the other time, you do remove a lot of doubt on which team is better or whether a goal was scored or not. Goal line technology has been implemented very well, where it's still does not disrupt the continuity. The other thing is that, as when you have kids just picking up a ball and playing, it's still very similar to the professionals playing. It's just, they have studs and shoes. The But if you bring in more and more of this technology in the game, it becomes slightly more different as compared to kids playing when they are young. So that's another thing to consider. Right now, the continuity is huge.
Yeah,
One
I get your
question
point.
that I have for you guys. What do you think? What kinds of decisions could be referred? Is it just goals that would be referred? I mean, we had a big debate last week or the week before that about Herrera's red card.
Yeah,
Do you think even tackles would be referred? How would it work?
I think any decision, but I would personally like to see debatable offsides,
But
debatable
but
tackles.
doesn't that kill the game if
Well,
I mean,
not really. Like for
I would have
example,
liked
no,
I
like
would
for
have liked the
example,
Herrera decision to go in our favor, but then if if every decision is to be referred to the video referee,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
it would just make it American
yeah,
football.
exactly. So
But
that's what I was
the
implying. Yeah,
contrary thought to that is that way you won't have fans of one team just blaming the referee for losing a game or something
I
like
mean,
that as well.
my whole oh yes, I completely agree with you, and I would have loved for that decision to be referred to the video referee. But my whole point is how many decisions would be referred
yeah,
because there's not just one foul in a game.
yeah. But that's what my point was about. That the referee in the middle, the main referee, decides like, hey, this. So essentially, for a goal, anyway, the team is celebrating, right? So there's no stop. There's already a stoppage in the game. Just to verify that it was a goal or no, won't take any additional time. Like in terms of the Herrera tackle that you were talking about, that would be the main referee's prerogative. That hey, I'm going to take a decision, and I'll give him a red card. But if he's not sure, he could go. So it would still be decided by the referee in the middle, officiating on the pitch, but he decides when he wants to use video technology or not. So that way, there's still the human element in the game left. That's what I think.
I mean, Arvind would call for the video referee every time we foul Hazard in the next game.
Yeah,
Possible,
that
possible.
for sure. That way, if it's 2 or 3 red cards as well, you won't have someone crying about it.
Yeah.
As
Right,
well.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of those such decisions, right? Like David Luiz on Fellaini, and we can go on talking about referee decisions. But I think it's a good step forward. It's about time you integrate
But yeah,
technology.
yeah, exactly what you said. No one complained in that France Spain game. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
it was good,
yeah,
the
exactly.
video technology.
Yeah, it was a friendly, but if it's in a World Cup final, then you would have probably seen a different reaction. Uh,
Yeah,
well,
fair
go.
point.
So continuing on the theme of international break, uh, you guys probably watched England's new youth integrated into the team with the seniors like Rooney either injured or out. Um, what do you think? Where do you think England team would be in the next 2 3 years? Like I, it just for some reason I support them at every World Cup, though I know that they're going to horribly burn and crash, but I do it anyway. And it was refreshing to see some really young players, some fresh blood into the team. What do you guys think?
Yeah, same for me. I support the England team. I don't know why I do that, but I somehow end up doing that every tournament. Um, I mean, when I saw the last friendly for the first time, in a long time, I felt that there was something new to the team. There was no player from the last age of England England players. Sorry, um, but yeah, all young players, all exciting players. I love the back three with Michael Keane. I think he's a really exciting player. Everyone's looking forward to how he'll do in the England shirt in the long run. Uh, um, I think Deli Ali is a good a number 10 to build around. And when Harry Kane does come back, with Harry Kane, Deli Ali, Sterling, and Lalana. I think that's a lethal front four if they click. I think the only weak spot that I saw was the midfield. It was still England still doesn't have a good midfield after the likes of Gerrard, Lampard, Scholes. It was Jake Livermore playing in the last game, so that's the only question mark for me. But I was really excited to watch them.
Just to
Yeah,
add to that, it felt like a great combination of Liverpool's attack and Chelsea's defense with a good back three, good foundation. But Liverpool were very similar to Liverpool. They were pressing really well ahead. Other than the finishing, I thought that Germany game was they did really well with Dele Ali and Raheem Sterling. They missed a few chances, but overall it was the way they played was excellent.
Arvind, can you name how many Chelsea and Liverpool players started that day? One
I,
second,
I
one
knew
second.
it was coming from Sid, but
Yeah,
let me defend him. I think he meant the gameplay rather than the players themselves.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, I meant the way they were playing. But yeah, Cahill was there, Lalana was there, so there were a few players. Yeah,
I think the most exciting players were Kyle Walker and Dele Ali, and they'll be I think they're future England captains along with Eric Dyer.
Yeah, just going on with the international break for a little bit. A lot of us don't like, especially Manchester United supporters. We dread international breaks, and this time around it was nothing better. We lost Chris Smalling and Phil Jones to what Mourinho called long-term injuries. We don't know how long they'll be out for, but
And Juan Mata.
yeah, Mata, but I guess he didn't play for Spain. But nonetheless, with Smalling and Jones out now, and a run of 9 games in the month of April, Sid, what do you think? What will Mourinho do? What will he pull out from his hat of
I
tricks?
was I was just talking to Arvind before we started. My main concern going forward in the next few games would be Marcos Rojo, especially playing West Brom this coming weekend. They have the likes of Michael Dawson in defense who've scored a lot of their goals. I have no worries about Eric Bailly, but I think Rojo would struggle in the air with big defenders like Dawson. So yes, it'll be a concern for us.
Yeah. Well, just to add to what you said, I really think uh, we missing Jones and Smalling, and now having to play Rojo. I think we probably play three at the back again, just to shore up the defense and play like a counter attacking football. And not to mention no Zlatan, no Herrera. Mata is apparently out till the end of the season, and
So who plays in the back
wait,
three?
yeah, it's so you're at home. I don't see United playing counter-attacking football at home against West Brom. I think you'll be getting a lot more of the ball, especially with West Brom, who will probably be lobbing a few up front with some of those big forwards.
more than a
But
few,
yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
I don't see United playing in the counter-attack, especially when they're at home.
So
Actually, you know what?
Shannon, who do you see playing in the back three? Is it Bailly, Rojo, and Blind? I mean, that'll be a slow back three.
It will be a super slow back three. And in front of them there'll be Fellaini, so a super slow midfield as well. I think I don't think Arvind is right in this case. I think it will still be a counter attacking just to use the pace of Rashford. He's the only fit forward. I guess Rooney is available for the game as well, so
Yeah,
he might play him in number 10. Um, I
I
don't know
still
who'll
see.
I don't know who'll
I
play
s-
in center midfield, to be honest. There's Carrick and
right,
Fellaini,
right.
but for the for the life of me, I don't know who'll be playing against
It
West
might
Brom.
be Rooney. It might be Rooney. I don't know.
It could
I
be.
mean, everyone's out for this game.
Yeah. So the only thing I know is Bailly will play, Valencia will play, Rojo will play, De Gea, Rooney might, but Rashford definitely will. So there's 5 spots in the team that we have no idea who'll play tomorrow. it'll be
Yeah.
it'll be something to see. I could not predict the game even if you gave me $1 million.
Mhm.
Is Marshall back from injury?
I think he should be
Hope,
available. Yeah, I hope he is.
hopefully,
Yeah, but
yeah, I expect Mkhitaryan and Martial to play on the wings. Hopefully.
yeah, hope.
And
So
what's up with Luke Shaw? Can he be the wide left guy?
I
I've been
we've been
wishing for.
hoping
I mean,
that, yeah,
yeah,
in the beginning of the season, but
yeah, he's not in
uh,
the squad for the game.
yeah.
Surprisingly, I don't know why.
Talking of left backs, let me switch to right back now. Uh, and I just want to bring up Seamus Coleman. I hope he recovers quick and comes back stronger, but that was a nasty looking injury. Uh, but moving on, I hope he recovers pretty well. That looked bad. Uh,
Yes, Everton didn't do too well with the international
oh
break. They were
yeah,
very
yeah. I was
lucky.
complaining about United, but Everton, oh my God, it's like
Yeah,
half their
they
full team
lost.
is.
Yeah, they lost Seamus Coleman, James McCarthy, and Morgan Schneiderlin, which is big, which is big for a club like Everton.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing with fouling people knowingly. It's just especially on the legs. Some we've seen people in counter attacks where they pull them through the shoulders and take a yellow card, one for the team. But constantly fouling someone again, it leads to bigger injuries. It's just one
No,
of those that you want to be careful about, and it's just not in the spirit of the game.
no, I mean, I don't agree with you completely. Fouling someone. So, I mean, just picking up on our debate from last week, we weren't reckless with Hazard. We knew what to do with Hazard, but our intention was not to break Hazard's leg. Whereas the guy, I forgot his name, who broke Coleman's leg, he was reckless. So that's different.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I mean, it comes with the game, right? It's nothing you can do about it. It's unfortunate, but it's part of the sport. And yeah, our thoughts with Seamus Coleman at the moment. All right. Moving on to slightly more competitive topic. Uh, before, like, hopefully Everton can build on what they were, but all this year in 2017, they have been the form team in the Premier League, guys. I believe they have taken like the at least most points, or they've been pretty much up there with games won and points taken, and Lukaku firing for them on all cylinders. They have a pretty strong midfield. Uh, and I guess finally Ronald Koeman has uh, has fixed their defense. Now with these injuries kicking in, and now Everton playing Liverpool for the Merseyside derby, what are your thoughts? What are your guys' thoughts about the game?
I mean, Everton would have been looking forward to this game before the international break. Uh, and they were I think they're just 6 points behind Liverpool, if I'm not wrong. They've been the best team in 2017, so they would have been wanting to close the gap and possibly overtake Arsenal even. Um, but with Funes Mori gone, who is a part of their defense, is I think Jagielka was out, Schneiderlin gone, Coleman gone, McCarthy gone. They'll do very well to beat Liverpool in the Merseyside derby.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game for Everton. I'm looking forward to again Liverpool's exciting front four playing. If I know my facts right, I believe this is Liverpool's last game against anyone else in the top seven, and after this they are going to have a relatively easier run of fixtures, which for Liverpool is surprisingly bad because they perform worse against the poorer teams. But they can really start making a concerted effort for the top four to finish strongly if they do well in this game and continue from here.
Liverpool will have to do really well. Lallana has been their main guy who's been firing, and he's out for a month now. So Coutinho will have to show up big time.
Yeah, yeah. As you said, Lallana's out. Coutinho has been on and off this season. I mean, not this season as well, but after his injury, he's been very lukewarm. It's been Sadio Mane who's been carrying Liverpool for most of the game. So, yeah, and Firmino after his hot start to the season has been lukewarm as well. So let's see who will come out on top. It should be a very interesting derby coming up. Uh, on other games for the weekend, Chelsea Palace. So Arvin, you've been itching to talk about the Chelsea Palace game whole for a week now.
It'll be a very exciting London derby.
Palace is one of those teams that always find a way to take something out of the Chelsea games. This might be the first game since the Hull City game back in September when we don't have the same back six, including the goalkeeper. There's a couple of doubts there. Um, yeah, Chelsea since the loss to Liverpool in September, Chelsea have won 13 straight games at home. How incredible is that stat? Hopefully, we can continue it. Crystal Palace will be parking the bus. It's a typical Sam Allardyce team. They're going to be strong in defense and they're going to have that one or two chances in attack. Let's see how it goes. Hopefully we see some magic from Hazard or Costa and make an early goal, and then it should be a comfortable afternoon.
Isn't that your season already in a nutshell?
Yeah, and that's a very good way to sum it up. Yeah, we've been strong in defense. We've scored a lot of goals, exciting front three, mesmerizing performances.
Not
So
really.
yeah,
I
it's
didn't mean that. I meant score an early goal and bring Fabregas in and close the game. That's what I meant.
so if you bring Fabregas in, you don't associate that with closing a game. You would bring like a Mikel in if you want to close the game. But no, so
You'd have to pay for Mikel's ticket to bring him over from China, I guess.
But hey,
but-
we no, you bring a good point. We've actually scored a lot of early goals, and that has helped Chelsea immensely, especially when you get the second goal in. So that's been one of the reasons for the success. And it helps that we get a week's rest between games because that helps us get off the blocks very quick.
So, Arvind, you mentioned there are a couple of doubts for your defense. Who are the doubtful players for this weekend?
I believe Victor Moses is the big doubt. Courtois has a hip injury. He might be. He did train yesterday, but he is doubtful as well.
I don't think that's too big a loss because at least your back three is preserved. I mean that I think is the main thing because
If that happens, we'll have Aspi move to right back and
Right.
right wide, and then we'll have Zuma come in or Aki come in.
Zuma
So
or
let's
Aki.
see.
Yeah.
right.
let's see
And
what happens.
I asked because if Palace were to do anything at all, I think it'll come from the right hand side with the Zaha crossing everything and Benteke trying to get it on the end of the crosses. That's probably their best bet.
Yeah. And Crystal Palace before the international break were on a pretty decent run as well. For the first time this season, they won 3 in a row. So and Zaha has been on fire for Ivory Coast. He scored like a really super solo goal. So let's see. It'll be a good match this weekend between Palace and Chelsea as well. All right. So moving on. We are almost in the month of April, and the transfer season is just a couple of weeks away. But it seems like all the articles are coming out, newspapers, online websites, and United have already had one player released, Bastian Schweinsteiger. He's going to be joining Chicago Fire in the MLS
And
Uh,
win the World Cup with them.
and win the World Cup with them. Yes, hopefully. Uh, and I was really interested in watching Mourinho's pre-match conference earlier today, where he admitted that he apologized to Schweinsteiger, and he said that he was wrong with the way he treated him. Uh, what did you make of it, Sid?
I mean, that's very unlike Mourinho to
Exactly.
publicly say that he was wrong. I mean, we all knew that he was too harsh on Schweinsteiger by, telling him that he's surplus to needs at United. At least, he at the very least he deserved to be a part of the squad. Um, and even after he was told that he's not required, he was professional enough to train every week to the extent that he was called back. But yes, he was. I mean, Mourinho was wrong, and kudos to him for actually accepting the fact that he's wrong. And I think he realizes that even more because tomorrow we don't have anyone to play in the midfield.
It's funny you said that. I actually have a couple of questions with this. United paid about 13 million for him. $250,000 a week, £250,000 a week was his salary. It's one of those. What do you think of the whole idea of purchasing him in the first place?
Well,
And also, yeah, like Sid said, isn't it coincidental that you picked up five players, and you picked up five players who you didn't know positions for, and they just released them this week.
name the five.
No. You said that there were five positions that you weren't sure United, who
Oh, okay.
who was going
Yeah,
to
yeah.
play for them. Yeah.
So, firstly, let me correct you. It was, I think, 6.5 million pounds. Uh, and
Oh,
for
my
for
bad, my bad.
yeah, and for a club like United, who makes the most money in the world, it's probably like chump change. And I mean, you can't argue with his wage packet. He is like one of the greatest midfielders of all time. So,
Yeah, he
uh,
deserved it.
yeah, that's true. But going back, I think if you look at the bigger picture, it's Mourinho keeping the players he wants and reshaping the squad that he needs for next season. He's shipped out Memphis Depay, Morgan Schneiderlin, uh, Bastian Schweinsteiger. He released, I think, Tyler Blackett at the beginning of the season, Will Keane. So uh, he also sent James Wilson on loan. So he had a bloated squad from the previous 3 summers of uh,
Three
nonsensical,
hor three horrible summers.
3 horrible years of nonsensical recruitment, right? But luckily for us, some players clicked. Herrera, for example, and he expects his players to follow his instruction and work as hard as they can, and that's the reason why Schweinsteiger at the almost in the middle of the season got a few chances to play for United in the FA Cup and make some appearances. And that's the reason players like Fellaini are still in the squad because they follow the manager's instruction to the T, and that's what Mourinho needs. And the culling is essentially him shaping the squad for next season, and he'll probably get the funds to bring in another 3 4 world class players. And I think we are seeing the spine of the squad as at the moment.
And Arvind, just to answer your question about Schweinsteiger, to be very, very, very honest with you, I think there were two reasons that it was Van Gaal who bought him, right? I think there were two reasons that he was bought. Firstly, for being the senior figure in the dressing room, especially after the likes of Ferdinand, Vidic, Evra, everyone had left. I mean, the only two senior figures we have are Rooney and Carrick. So that was the main reason. And with the boatload of experience that he has, it was expected that he'll kind of mentor the young kids. I think the second reason was to sign him as a brand. I mean, Schweinsteiger is Schweinsteiger. There's probably about out of the 80,000, there's at least 5,000 who just show up because they want to watch Schweinsteiger, to be very honest. And lastly, everyone expected it to work out. It just didn't work out with him. It wasn't that he was a bad signing.
I
So
think it also felt like Schweinsteiger brings that winning mentality to the team
yeah,
when he joined. Yeah, when he signed, I it was definitely it was exciting. I remember talking to you
yeah,
as well when that happened. So that's why I just thought we should bring it up.
You know,
yeah.
uh, if Schweinsteiger had signed probably a year before the World Cup, we would have got like a totally different player. Playing for so many years, injuries taking its toll, his body not being the same physical condition. But Schweinsteiger was also signed because, as Sid said, the name,
Yeah,
right? He's a World Cup
yeah.
winning captain, for Pete's sake, or
Yeah, and
vice captain.
I see him. I see Herrera as a very in the same mold as Schweinsteiger. So we have a young Herrera. So it kind of didn't help Schweinsteiger that Herrera has been so awesome over the past year or two.
Yeah, I just want to add that not just the Schweinsteiger exit, but Schweinsteiger and Schneiderlin, it leaves spaces for someone like Fosu Mensah. Like he's poor guy has got like 4 minutes in league play this season. So
Yeah.
I am hoping he'll be playing some games from now to the end of the season. Now that the squad is pretty much threadbare in midfield, and yeah, I'm actually looking forward to some guys from the youth team to get promoted to the first team. I'm going to say that really slowly so that Arvind can grasp the words I'm saying.
I didn't hear you the first time. Can you say that again?
So the
You're not going to
youth.
hear him the second time as well, I'm sure.
All right. Uh, but yeah, sad to see Schweinsteiger go, and wish him all the best in the MLS. Uh,
So you see Fosu Mensah playing in the next 2 months?
I would
Is
definitely
that what
see
you're
him.
hinting at?
I
No,
At
as
think
in
least,
you think he's going to get some game time.
at
I think
least a
so.
game or two at the minimum. I think he
Hmm.
deserves.
Let's see how that
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah, I think he will. I definitely think he will. We have Europa League and pretty much midweek games from tomorrow till the end of the season. So yeah, I really hope Mourinho pulls him in for one or two games. Uh, Moving on, talking about transfers. Sid, question for you. Uh, who do you think is a realistic signing for the top, say, six this season, right? One player that will improve each team across the board.
Oh, that's a great question. Let's start in um, the league table order. I mean, for Chelsea, I think their main priority would be uh, to get a striker, which I think will be Lukaku. I think they'll go all out to get Lukaku because he fits the profile uh, the best. I mean, you can argue that Morata is a better player. He's faster, better position wise. But I think Lukaku, with his size and his physical presence, fits the Chelsea system and the 3-5-2 system.
What are you talking
Second,
about? They already have a world-class striker. His name is Michi
yeah,
Batshuayi.
no, I don't think they're going to trust Batshuayi after this season, and I don't. No one knows. I mean, Arvind can probably agree with me that he's not sure as well if Costa is going to stay or not. And I think the second priority for Chelsea would be to replace Hazard. I have a strong feeling that Hazard is going to leave. Why I say that is because um, Perez, who's the Real president, has delivered on his signings whenever it has been brought up, and this is election year for him. And if you see his history in election years, he's made that Galactico signing with Ronaldo and Bale. I expect Hazard to be the next signing, so it'll be interesting to see who uh, Chelsea replace Hazard with. I mean, the first name out there would be Alexis Sanchez, but again, would Arsenal sell to Chelsea? Um, so yes, that I think everyone else that Chelsea would sign would be uh,
I think more
backup
like
players.
supporting cast, right? I
Yeah,
I
yeah.
agree.
Maybe Bakayoko with would be a better would be a replacement for Matic maybe. So yes, I mean that's as far as Chelsea would go. Spurs again. I mean, we Spurs have been there for the last 4 seasons in second or third. I think they need that world class signing. I don't know who it'll be. I think they need someone like a Marco Reus or something. They haven't done well with the likes of Lamela and the backup striker Janssen. So it'll be interesting to see who they get in as replacements for them.
Yeah,
They just
to me it just feels like Pochettino likes young players with a lot of energy,
yeah
right? Like
yeah
Royce is what 27, 28 now.
yeah
Yeah.
yeah.
I
I don't.
think I think Tottenham need two good midfielders. That the guy from Newcastle has been a failure. They need some depth in midfield, and they need one
Sissoko.
good CDM.
They,
Yeah, they need
they
one
need,
good CDM as
oh
well.
no, I disagree with you. You're right when you say that Sissoko has been horrible. I think they probably need a better player in place of Sissoko, but they probably have the best two CDMs in the Premier League with Dembele
I'm
and
talking about depth because they're expected to be in the Champions League again next year and they
yeah
can't be found out. You
yeah
you spoke about Chelsea, and honestly, as a Chelsea fan, I would rather focus on finishing the season well before we start talking about transfers. But
How
yeah,
well
you
do you
bring
want to
up.
finish? I think you've already won the league, to be very honest.
Let's yeah again it's one of those. Let's hope we do win the league, and yeah, we are in a pole position too. But no, with respect, you bring up a good point. Depending for whom to sign, what's more important is who is leaving. If you look at Chelsea's transfers the last 5 to 10 years, none of the first teamers have left. So with respect to Costa and Hazard leaving, I hope they don't. But if they do, I trust the Chelsea board to milk a lot of money out of them so that we can actually afford some of the other big names that we are looking at. So yeah, I think for Chelsea, getting depth is more important considering we'll be playing we'll be playing midweek games. So we've seen with United this year how injuries have hurt them a lot. So we need to make sure that we have good depth. Right now there are about 14, 15 players in the squad who are first team ready. We definitely need 2 or 3 big signings.
I'm glad that you actually said it yourself that you'll take if you paid a lot of money, you'll actually sell your best player.
Once again, the first preference and the first choice is to not do that. And if you go back to the last 5-10 years history, we haven't sold any first teamers.
No, but why-
That's
but
Mata
that's all your
Luis
history, though.
or of course, and there's
No,
nothing
but-
wrong with that.
Okay,
but
I mean,
the point is,
leaving aside the banter, I mean, if Real come in with 110 million bid, why would, and if Hazard wants to leave, why do you think Chelsea will resist?
so first off, Conte just came out today and said that Hazard is really happy, his family is
He-
settled.
He will say
but
that because it's the middle of the season.
but yeah, if you let me finish, yeah, but that's what we've seen that Chelsea know how to keep their players. They know how to keep their top players. The first teamers are happy. They are always, compared to Arsenal, they're always paid well. They don't let contracts go to the last year. So we've seen. So there's already been good contract talks, and worst case, which is again not happened in the last 5-10 years, but if Hazard does say that he wants to leave or something, I can see Chelsea milking every penny out of Madrid for that transfer if that
Yeah,
happens.
I wouldn't trust Conte saying that Hazard is happy. He came out a couple of months ago and said Costa is happy. I mean, all he's doing is protecting the dressing room.
Yeah,
So don't take him for his word.
I mean, also to add to Sid, right? The Costa comes out and says that, hey, I wanted to leave in the middle of the season. So, what managers say, they just say it so that that the press doesn't bite them, essentially. And well, let's see
Yeah.
what happens. But
Moving on.
I'm gonna
Yeah, I
skip.
mean,
Yeah.
you asked about the top six. So I mean, we just got done with two teams. I think the main shopping team this coming transfer window would be Man City. I think they need a new back five. I don't see Guardiola recalling Joe Hart. I think that's too big a hit for him on his ego if he does call back Joe Hart. Claudio Bravo. I mean, we've seen what he's capable of, so he'll probably rot in the Spanish league again. And
I want to bring Arvin in here, like from a neutral's perspective. Who do you think? Who do you think Arvin United might get, or who do you think? What do you think of the rumors circulating players that are linked with United?
I think United, the two big areas that they can improve, if Herrera and Pogba get another complete midfielder by them, that's going to be huge in helping United go to the next level. And the front three, yes, I don't know how Zlatan. It looks like he's going to be there next year, but he doesn't play second fiddle to anyone. But United need another finished striker, and that should complete them. And given the fact that Mourinho has worked with the team, give Mourinho another preseason, and trust me when I say this, United will be challenging for the top honors next year for sure.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think talking about United always pains me when I see rumors about De Gea. I genuinely have a feeling if Madrid don't get Hazard, they're going to go all out for De Gea. It's going to be a world record signing for a goalkeeper, but then that brings me to a question. Next question is, who do you think, Sid? Who are the possible replacement if in case De Gea decides he wraps up this
Um,
season?
I mean, the obvious choice would be Donnarumma from AC Milan. I mean, he's young and he's great, and we got De Gea when he was super young. So I won't be surprised if we go for Donnarumma. But honestly, as you mentioned, if Madrid don't get Hazard, they'll go for De Gea. I feel Hazard is more likely to happen compared to De Gea, considering the fact that we've heard reports saying that there's no release clause. So um, I see them spending a 90 or 100 million on an attacking goal scorer rather than a goalkeeper, honestly.
Yeah, yeah, a fair point. That's true. But yeah, again, just to corroborate with what Arvind said earlier, uh, I personally feel an attacking midfielder slash striker would be coming in. Griezmann's name is all over the papers, uh, and hopefully a strong midfielder. That's what we need at this moment.
Yeah,
I think
Strootman's name has been thrown up.
yeah, Shootman. You know, my fantasy signing would be Verratti. Just throwing it out there. Laugh at me as much as you want, but I think Verratti next to Herrera and Pogba would be something magical. But
It's always good to dream.
yeah,
I'd been calling for Ibrahimovic to be the next Cantona for the last 5 years, and we finally got him. So I mean, why not?
yeah, I don't want Verratti when he's 36, right? But
But if he's as good as Ibrahimovic, why
yeah,
not?
why not? Why not? We all
Verratti
should
has
dream.
been a little Verratti has been a little injury prone. It just feels like the CDM that I was thinking was a lot more
Like N'Golo
bossy.
Kante.
Rob-
No.
robust.
A lot more bossy in his approach. He's the one who wins the ball back like Herrera and feeds it to someone like a Pogba to use his long range passing that we've seen this season.
Now that
for-
we're throwing fantasy names out there, Shannon, what do you think? I mean, it's probably not likely to happen at all. What do you think about Idrissa Gueye from Everton?
You know what? He seems like a lot of people underestimate his signing. Like each team needs a Kante, and Idrissa Gueye, or rather, we should say each team is a Gueye now. Like if you look at his stats, he's overshadowed N'Golo Kante in most of the categories apparently, and which was surprising to see for me honestly. But he's been a pretty nifty signing. I didn't know what Ronald Koeman was doing when he signed him from a recently relegated team, Aston Villa, but he's turned out pretty well. That guy covers as much ground as Kante. I'm not trying to compare, but their style of play is pretty similar. They just keep running, really technical, strong on the ball. Try to keep it simple, just keep the game moving. And Everton have been able to build on that strong midfield. Releasing likes of Barkley and Lukaku to run rampant. But yeah,
But
he's been pretty good signing, I would say, for them.
yeah, but I don't see that happening. I mean, even though I brought up the name, I saw one of Mourinho's interviews today with Premier League Productions, and someone asked him about summer signings, and he said that it's impossible to sign a player from the league. It's the all the teams are so competitive now. None of them actually are short of money, so no one's likely to sell, and everyone's competing for the top 6, 7, 8, so to say. So getting a player from a fellow team in the top 8 would be next to impossible. So it probably would be the lower leagues or foreign teams.
Yeah, it's now every team knows the Premier League has money. All the Premier League teams have money. So I guess it just comes with that, and it's gonna be unless you have players like Ozil and Sanchez who are 1 year away from their contracts expiring. I don't see players going from one top 8 team to another. All right. Uh, so Arvind, just to bring you back in now, I think Sid was missing you really. Uh, who I want you to just name one player that would immensely improve Arsenal at the moment. With keeping the current squad, just one player do you think?
Oh boy. Yeah, that's a tough one, given the amount of uncertainty regarding their manager as well. Once again, they tried to boost up their midfield engine without this. So I'll give you two names. One is going to be Monaco left back. I think his name is Mindy.
Mendy, yeah.
Yeah, he would. Nacho Monreal and Kyron Gibbs are just mediocre. They'll probably fit like a West Brom or West Ham properly, but they're
But
not.
the entirety of Arsenal's team is mediocre.
Thank God we don't have an Arsenal fan on this show.
But yeah, that would be one name. I think Xhaka has shown bits and pieces of his quality. I expect him to be much better next year. If they can get half their squad fit, if they can get Ramsey and Cazorla and all of them playing, that will be a big benefit for them. I was looking some stats up where Chelsea have had the least amount of injuries the last 5 years, whereas Arsenal have had the most, and they've really struggled, and they struggle every year with injuries, and that really sets them back. So yeah.
I'm gonna throw in my one name who's gonna improve Arsenal. It's gonna be Diego Simeone.
That's actually a great point, Sid. I was actually coming to that. Like, if it was one position rather than player to say that would improve Arsenal's chances next season, would be the manager. As much as I admire Arsene Wenger, I really, really didn't like the fact that him coming out and saying, "I will let you know when I let you know." Like,
Yeah.
his players are unsettled for sure. Sanchez is unsettled. Ozil unsettled. There's like a weird mood around the club apparently these
Right.
days.
And there are reports that he's gonna sign a 2-year extension, and Arsenal are gonna give him one last chance and give him a lot of money to actually prove himself. I mean, the only forgetting the rivalry, I really want Wenger to do well. And I mean, even Gary Neville said it once that Gary Neville said, "I'm a United supporter. I would want United to win." Carragher is a Liverpool supporter. He'd want Liverpool to win. But if you want another team to win the league from England, it would be Arsenal. And we want Wenger to do well. My only concern is if he signs that 2-year contract and he gets that transfer kitty of 100 million. What if it goes even worse for him? He just ends it on an even worse note.
Well, he doesn't know what to do with a transfer kitty of 100 million. Like, it's been a few years now that that it's apparent that Arsenal have the funds to sign players. Like, they didn't shy to splash on Ozil. They didn't shy to splash
Yeah.
on Xhaka and Sanchez.
Yeah.
But why not splash all of them in one season? Like, why do you have to sign just one star
Yeah, I
player
mean,
a season when you
it's-
know your core team needs strengthening?
Yeah, I mean, it's just the mentality. Instead of bidding 40 million and £1 for Suarez, you can just go ahead and bid 50 million. I mean, you're Arsenal, for God's sake. So I don't get how they function and think.
If he goes ahead and spends 100 million this summer and he still fails, then there's no doubt, there's no reasoning from his end that I was building a stadium or something like that. So if from a neutral perspective, I would say let him spend that money and let him fail, and then it is even more justified that he deserved the sack. It's high time that Arsenal compete in the very top echelons and not just fight for a top four.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel
Thank you
for
for
the Arsenal
arguing.
fan.
Thank you for agreeing with us finally, Arvind. We appreciate your support. All right.
Like I said, I mean, I've again, yes, it's coming from a Chelsea fan, but I would prefer that Wenger stays. He's earned it, but it's time that Arsenal and him prove it. So
Yeah.
let's see how that goes.
Yeah, true. I mean, really good points all across. I really think that they have to get a striker, man. Come on, like, you can't. Welbeck plays 4 games a season.
Yeah.
I love him to bits. United youth product,
Yeah.
but he plays 4 games a season. Giroud he spends more time in the barber shop than scoring goals.
Yeah. There's something wrong with the way Wenger thinks. Since Henry, he's been really hoping that Giroud will deliver, or Lucas Perez will deliver, or Danny Welbeck will deliver. I mean, those are good strikers, but not title-winning strikers, not Golden Boot winners. So he has to go ahead and sign, a Griezmann or an Ibrahimovic, that big figure up front.
Yeah, just to add to that, the difference between Welbeck for United and Welbeck for Arsenal. Like he's the same player, just a little older. But Ferguson gave Welbeck a whole season, and I believe United lost the league that year on goal difference. Right, he played up front all season with Rooney, and the moment that happened, Ferguson went and bought Robin van Persie, a proven striker, because he knew the next season he needed goals to win the title. Now,
Funnily, from Arsenal.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And that's the difference in mentality. Like Ferguson, like I have to improve. I know what I need, and I'll get it. But Wenger, he's like, okay, I bought Welbeck. He'll improve next season. Hopefully, he'll stay fit. There's a lot of hoping and praying when it comes to Arsenal's players. Uh, Talking about Arsenal a little bit more, bear with us. Is this weekend's big game against Man City? Well, they might be really enjoying the sixth position that United occupied for so long. We kept the seat warm for them. But what do you guys see happening this weekend? What do you think will happen, Arsenal versus City?
Yeah, the first leg was super exciting with City having come back after being 1-0 down at halftime. But this is going to be a cracker of a game. Let's hope it lives up to the excitement. I'm looking forward to City's front three of Mane, of Sané, Sterling, and Aguero just going bonkers on Arsenal's defense. Let's see how this goes. This will be a fun game.
What do you think?
Yeah,
Sam?
but
What do you think
I
will
mean,
happen?
I agree with Arvind. I expect City to have the upper hand with Arsenal's horrific defending recently. But even if Arsenal can click into the first gear, it's not hard to play against Otamendi and John Stones and Kolarov and Sanya, considering how they've been playing recently. So I mean, it's hard to call, but it's just a matter of who shows up on that day. But as Arvind said, it's expected that Sane and Sterling and Aguero would be stronger.
I would think it's a do or die game for Arsenal at this moment. Like they don't have anything else to fight for this season. They got hammered out of the Champions League. I guess they have FA Cup semi-finals against City, if I'm not mistaken. But this is what it comes to for them, right? They live for the fourth spot.
Yeah, I'm going to make a big call and say that Arsenal are going to lose and Wenger's going to come out with his decision after this game.
Wow. You said we'll go offline with the amount you want to wager on that.
I think, but back to your point of a do or die game, Arsenal have a relatively easier run of fixtures from now to the end of the season. I think United have the toughest
Yeah.
run. United and Crystal Palace. So they of course they can potentially overtake United, because even City have a very tough fixture list. But yeah, it's going to be a do or die. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, well, at least for United, if the ultimate goal is getting into the Champions League, I feel Europa is a better way to do it. But I would like to see how Mourinho rotates and how Mourinho prioritizes the competition. All right, so moving on to the final big game of the weekend, Spurs versus Burnley, and as Arvind alluded offline with me, that it's a big game because Burnley are at home, and Burnley have picked points from some big teams this season. So what do you think? What do you think, Arvind? Spurs just know one way to play. They are going to keep the ball. They're going to press. They're going to hunt in packs, and they're going to try to feed Harry Kane. What do you think, Arvind, that Burnley will be able to withstand that assault?
Yeah, I think after Chelsea, Burnley have the best home record in the Premier League, and they've been great at home. That's the one reason why they are a mid-table team. This will be a very interesting game. I'm looking forward to this. Looking forward to the things that you described about Spurs, seeing how effective it can be against a resilient Burnley team, who have a couple of good players, but they have a manager who'll play a 4-4-2, very traditional, and yeah, I think it'll be a good battle. Let's see how this one goes, but I'm expecting Burnley to pick some points off of Spurs here.
Shannon, just to add to what you were saying, Harry Kane's actually out. He suffered an injury, so it'll be interesting to see who they play up front because apparently Vincent Janssen missed the international break with the virus. So I mean, if he's back, good for them. But if he's not, they might play a false nine.
If I'm
Um,
not mistaken, they played a Hyunmin song.
right,
during-
right, right.
Son, sorry, the
Yeah.
at number 9, false 9 rather.
Yeah. But I mean, there's some good news for Spurs fans because everyone feared that Harry Kane is out for the season, but actually he's actually back training, and they're hoping he can be back mid-April. Yeah, I think they play. Well, I don't know, Swansea, Watford. So
I hope he'll be back before the Chelsea game, the FA Cup semi-final.
Yeah.
That'll be one cracker, and again,
Yeah.
personally, I would want the best Spurs team out there.
Yeah, it that's one more thing I want to just sidetrack a little bit is uh, other than United and I guess Liverpool, the top 6 essentially Chelsea, Tottenham, City, and Arsenal have to play. Is it a midweek game at the FA Cup semis? But whatever it is, they have to play each other. It'll be a little more intense those games because it's knockout, and hopefully that will give little breathing room to United in their assault on top 4. But talking about Burnley, Michael Keane. Now, Sid, you mentioned his name specifically when we talked about the internationals, right? Uh, a United youth product, unfortunately to be let go early by Louis van Gaal. If you've been following his progress, what kind of a player has he turned into?
we all knew what kind of a player he is. He's tall, he's quick, he's smart as far as positioning is concerned. He's fearless. Uh, it was one of those bad decisions that Van Gaal made. She shouldn't have sold him. Another loan season at Burnley would have been the smart decision. And there have been rumors now, very strong rumors, that United are considering buying him back, which I won't be surprised about because we really need good centre backs. But yeah, he's a great prospect for England and for the Premier League. If not United, I expect maybe a Liverpool to snap him up. But yeah, he's proven himself this season that
he's United born and bred. He's not going to go to Liverpool.
Yeah. Whoever pays Burnley the most money, honestly, they'll sell Keane to that team. But he's good enough that next season I see him playing in a top 6 team.
All right.
Just to add to that, I think him, Maguire at Hull, and Virgil van Dijk would be the 3 defenders who would make big money moves in the summer. I think those are my 3 who I would choose to go to the top 7.
I agree with your choice, but I would label them as being the standout defenders this season rather than saying they'll be the big money moves, because I think Van Dijk is leaps and bounds above everyone else. I expect Van Dijk to be snapped up by City or Liverpool for no less than, maybe Chelsea. I think Chelsea is the strongest link that he's had, for no less than 50 million pounds. Because he has Champions League pedigree. Harry Maguire honestly doesn't, and Michael Keane. Maybe. I mean, he's good enough for the top 6, but he's not proven himself like Van Dijk has. And Van Dijk is a goal-scoring defender.
Yep. Yeah. The only drawback I would think is he's still injured, so I'm not sure if some team would take a gamble on him and sign him with the hopes that he would recover to full fitness. Alright then, that brings us to the end of this edition of 3 Wise Men on April Fool's Day special. Thank you for joining us. We'll come back with another episode as entertaining as this one, hopefully, in about a week's time. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night, boys.
See you, bye.
Recording चालू किया था ना?